Yeah, so there's a laundry list in the book, but it's very long, so I'm not going to try to. I couldn't remember them all anyway. But at the high level, starting with the visionary, just kind of thinking about. We talk about their DNA. They are seeing the future. They're thinking about where the world is going. They are trying to understand how can we best position our company along that path to where it's going to be the best opportunity for us. They're always generating lots of ideas. We'll sort of say 20 a week. They don't recognize it, but 18 of those may be bad ideas. A few of those maybe kill the company bad ideas. But one or two of those are just gold, and they're just moonshots. They're the kind of things that can just really change the game in a positive way for us. And they don't know the difference. They all look great to them, right? So that's the visionary. When you talk about accountabilities, one of the discoveries really is that we want to – visionaries don't do great with accountabilities. Mm-hmm. They don't do great with, we say visionaries don't have rocks. And so we try not to give them like specific concrete, time-bound accountabilities when we don't have to, because they struggle with them. They're not good at them, and it becomes very frustrating for them and frankly for the rest of the organization, the rest of the team. But they do have an accountability to be generating those ideas and be thinking about the future and doing those kinds of things. Now, the integrator, they're all about accountability. That's core to their DNA. They're all about that follow through, execution, the to-dos that have to get done, getting everybody aligned. They play a bit of a translator for that visionary. The visionary has all those ideas flying up here at 30,000 feet. The integrator may not fly at 30,000 feet, but they fly at 20, or they can, close enough to kind of hear them and understand them and then translate those to the rest of the organization, the rest of the team. Oftentimes the integrator has an accountability really for the P&L. For making sure that all of the business operations, whether it's revenue generation, expense control, whatever drives together to drive the profitability of the organization, that's really where it all meets. So they're accountable for that. They're accountable for breaking down barriers. So sometimes that looks like a leader that just gets stuck. They've tried this and that. They just can't get there. So the integrator can kind of work with them to kind of see other possibilities, maybe bring in other resources, maybe do something to kind of help them break through the wall and be able to get going again. They break ties. So often happens where multiple leaders on the leadership team will get crossways, and sales and marketing is going, hey, we got to go this way, while finance is saying, no, it has to go this way, and they find themselves at odds, and they try and they just can't work it out. They just can't get on the same page. So we can't stay there stuck. And so we need somebody to swing into that conversation, listen to all sides in the context of the greater good of where we're trying to go, and make the call and make the decision that gets us unstuck, gets us moving forward again, so we can get on to whatever the next decision is that we need to make. So that's a common accountability for the integrator as well.
Yeah. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. One thing that really occurred to me when I read through the book, and this also could be my bias working in the industry that I work in. When I read through the accountabilities, I look at it and I just can't help but have the impression where I'm like, okay, one of these, Mark, sounds a lot easier and a lot more fun than the other, okay? And I'm going to hyperbolize to make the point. In one case, we have this ideas guy who gets to play with whiteboards and spout out cool stuff and go to fancy dinners with clients and be the hero and get the sexy name visionary slapped on their name tag or whatever. And then you have this other person who, again, I'm doing a cartoon example, who's essentially doing all the work. And you say, okay, well, they have 20 ideas a week and maybe 2 are good. If you were a 3-point shooter and you were shooting 10%, you wouldn't be in the NBA. I don't even know if you'd be playing college. So tell me why that's wrong, or maybe that says something about me and my perspective. Have you been asked that question before?
Sure.
Do you have thoughts on that sort of that take?
Sure. And I think a couple of things to kind of ground it. So one is we are clearly influenced by our own bias based on who we are and how we see ourselves, right? So the lens that you're looking at it through, if you are a pure visionary or you are a pure integrator or you're neither, is going to influence how you see that situation.
Right. Right.
And in that, and if you're neither, recognize that most people are neither. So everybody's not one or the other. There's a lot of people that are neither. And so that's okay, right? Everybody is not, is not wired to be this visionary leader or this integrator leader. Now, for those that are, here's what we've found. So I'm a visionary. I'm a pretty high visionary. So I'm 96 on our indicator for that. I'm low on the integrator side. So for me, I can do some of the integrator stuff, but I'm not good at it.
Not that good at it, right?
And if I am good at it, it just almost kills me. So it just zaps all of the energy that I've got, all the energy units I've got to spend as a human. They all go there, and there's nothing left over for that other side. So recognize that equation seems to work the other way as well. Although I think it's true that a lot of integrators aren't capable of some of the ideation, some of the visioning that visionaries do. They just can't do it.
You know what's interesting? You say that. I kind of asked the same question to a group in our marketing huddle a few weeks ago. I said, I've got Mark C. Winters coming on. I'm really excited. This is something that's on my mind. I'm gonna ask him this. And I did the exact same bit to them as I just did to you. And I was surprised because about 3 or 4 people in the group raised their hands and said, I have zero interest in being a visionary. Yeah. I don't care at all. That's not where I play. That's not where my mind goes in my free time. I am more than happy, even excited for you to give me the play and me execute it. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm wrong.
So this is exactly what we found is that's the pure integrator mindset is give me the thing. I don't want to spend my cycles trying to come up with that great thing. Give me that great thing. I can then play it against the world of execution, and I can tell if that play's going to work or if we can run it right here with our offense, right? And so that's really what they want, and they're good with that. So the people, Benji, and you may be one of these that kind of they're sort of frustrated. Well, I want to be on that side. That side looks more fun. You may be both. You may be kind of in there. So you got kind of a foot in both worlds. So you feel that way. You feel drawn in both directions. And that's there's nothing wrong with it. But it's a little bit of a trap to just be cautious of where you really need to kind of spend some intentional time thinking about, all right, which one of these do I enjoy more?
I think it's a good comment to just be aware of the bias and how that might change the lens through which you look at this whole dynamic. And that probably says something about where I sit on it. And I'm curious to learn and discover more about that. One thing it's not talked about a ton in the book. Maybe it is elsewhere, but I'm curious about the environment where this whole thing was discovered, because this rocket fuel book has really become very widely distributed, certainly in our construction and trades industry markets, very, very popular. I know a lot of visionaries who are looking for integrators. Some have been very successful, some have not. We'll get into some of the practical steps in a minute, but where were you guys at in career and in life when the aha moment around this happened? And perhaps while you're kind of discussing that, you could share a bit about the Mark C. Winters background and story and all of that as well.
Yes.
Listen, if you like that clip, you can watch the full episode by clicking here. If you're not yet subscribed, you probably should be, and you can do that by clicking right here.